Okay, I keep saying that I'm gonna leave and then I don't, but I'm really gonna mean it this time, okay? Is this a good thing? Well, hold up, let me grab my kerosene. Is this a good thing? Let me torch it before it gets to the point where I can't handle it. When I watch something get completely destroyed, it makes so much sense. And sometimes it makes me sad that I'm that way, but I can't not be that way, so it's better that I stay over here and go on a date and pretend that that won't be our fate. But you know, this guy smiled at me today and I smiled at him back. And he kept looking over and I had to look away. Cause I'm not gonna lie to myself and think that I could do that. You know, like whenever somebody makes it obvious that they're romantically interested in you. And you're like, if only I was a completely different person. Maybe we could go to the Olive Garden. I'm gonna die alone, I'm gonna die alone, I wouldn't have it any other way. Cause what you see right here is a person that's made it clear that this is where they want to stay. But I definitely have that phantom libido. I have that part of me that says, girl, you're supposed to have what they have, don't you know? You're supposed to at least want it. Okay, percentages. Let's talk about that. Let's do some math. Okay, I'm kidding. But I think about it like percentage-wise. Like, if you get lonely, like, every once in a while, that doesn't mean that you actually want to be with somebody. That just means that you're lonely at that particular time. You know? People need to look at things like that. Like, if they measure their life via percentages of, you know, pay attention. Okay, this requires you to pay attention. If they measure their life, like, how much am I happy? How much am I sad? How much do I want to be with somebody? Or, you know, like, I think about, like, relationships I've been in and, like, how long of a time was I with this person? How much of that time was I, like, crawling out of my fucking skin? You know? And so it's like, if I enjoy being alone, like, the majority of the time, then it just makes sense to do that. And I doubt that I'm gonna regret it. I think that the older you get, you tend to be a lot less tolerant of things. that piss you off, things that make you vomit, like time with other people. That's why I got so much to offer on this channel. Whether you consider my offering reasonable, I wouldn't be able to do this with an audience. It wouldn't be anywhere near as free. One of my favorite lyrics was Phair, badass singer-songwriter, okay, from the early 90s. Another crazy bitch who was very self-aware. Wrote a lot of really amazing songs talking about the female nature. You should check out her album, Exile. It's either Exile in Guyville or Exile to Guyville. Forgive me for not knowing the exact title. But I think the album came out in 1993. But the final track off that album, the first lyric of the song is, "The fire that you like so much in me is the mark of someone adamantly free." And I wish I'd written that shit, because I don't know how people do it. I really don't. Like, I'm in awe of people in relationships and marriages and shit. I'm like, wow, that's amazing that you don't kill them. You know, that's fantastic that you don't beat them over the head with a shovel. That's blah, 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 blah. That's amazing that he doesn't beat you over the head with a shovel. You know, like, I just don't think that most relationships work out. So it just seems crazy that people want to be in one so bad. You know, considering the odds. And it's all so they can fuck. It's also they can, like, have that closeness with somebody that's so short-lived. It just seems like, once again, with the percentages, it's not worth it. You know? I guess I'm more of a realist. But it's mainly because of me. It's not just because of my cynicism towards relationships. It's because of my, you know, addiction. It seems like an addiction to being alone. I like that chord. I can't explain it to someone that insists that we're all supposed to have someone. We're social beings. I mean, yeah, we are. But some of us are superior beings. I'm kidding. Some of us are just different. Okay? We're just different. We're just wired differently. And trust me, I've been bothered by this. But the older I get, the more I accept things that society would have me reject. I wouldn't be able to do. I wouldn't be able to do this if in a way I didn't choose this mess. And I try to clean it up as if I could ever get away with that. Cause stuff that I really give a fuck about takes precedence over my appearance. And I guess that's what makes me authentic. This is how I love you, this is how you can love me. This is how we can fuck, this is how we can fuck. I think about that often when I listen to a song over and over and over. It's like porn. 'Cause I'm going into another world, and I'm getting off, getting off, getting off. But I could hardly explain that to a narcissist. I could hardly explain that to someone that insists that I do it like everybody else because they've been that conditioned. It's all conditioning, if you think about it. I just broke free from it. I'll never look back, motherfucker. But yeah, 2% of the time I cry. And I wish someone was there holding me. And then I remember God gleefully. And I remember that I wouldn't let nobody hold me no way. So what's the point in ruminating over not being the way that I'm told I'm supposed to be? And it's not just because of gender. What's gender? Gender's been out for as long as I can remember. Okay. I really gotta go to bed, man. It's like almost 3 in the morning. Yeah. Don't listen to anyone trying to tell you that you should be someone that you're not. They might have good intentions, but that's all they have, really. That's all most people have, really. Because they don't know you. They're not in your mind. They're not in your body. They're not living your life. So why would you listen to somebody that's not you? Good luck trying to tell me what to do. And every single time that I like make that, obvious, it's like that's where people think I'm feminist or whatever. No. Fuck you and your feminism, okay? You don't need to be a feminist. You can just be a badass that doesn't need that, you know? I mean, look at dudes that are alone and they're happy and they're content being alone. They're content, doing stuff by themselves, and like, I'm sure like people think something's wrong with them too. Yeah, because there's such a stigma surrounding loneliness, and I'm so lonely when I'm around other people. And I can't imagine just like being resigned to like one person and just being stuck with them forever and ever and ever. You know, like, I think it's a beautiful concept. And I think very few people can achieve that. And I feel like the only way that you can achieve that is if you both really, really believe in God and you both really, really believe in marriage and building life together. And you have to be really disciplined to do that too. You have to be really disciplined. You have to really believe in the relationship. And I just don't have that faith in that shit. I don't. Not at all. And most of the people that pursue relationships really don't either. That's what's crazy about it. I'm like, dude, you're going to waste such a huge chunk of your life going after something that you're never going to get. And it's just fucking pointless. You should just masturbate and watch internet porn like everybody else, you know? I'm kidding. Don't do that. But, no, it's just crazy, though, that this is so cynical, isn't it? It's like, just die alone. It's cool. Everybody dies alone. Everybody. That's not a cope, that's a fact. Everybody dies alone. Just like we were born alone. I mean, that's why we're crying. Because, like, we're like, encased in our mother's womb, and it's really warm and comforting, and then we're shot out into the world, and we're immediately cold and screaming, you know? But that's not how we die, though. Typically, people don't die that way. It's, like, way more peaceful than that. So what does that say? Like, you scream when you're brought into the world, and then you go quietly on your way out. I just think that shit's funny. Especially considering the fact that people are so afraid of death, but it seems to be something that is welcomed, you know, by people that are wise, or just people that, they're just at that point. You know, and you see this with, like, a lot of elderly people where, like, they're just leaving, like, their mind's leaving, and it's like, yeah, like, why are people, like, holding on to that? It seems to be, like, other people that can't let them go. You know? That's what life support's all about, right? You could do a joke about life support. Like, there's a lot of material there. Like, just all the stuff that we have in our society that just doesn't really make sense. Yeah, it is sad, though. You know, whenever somebody's in an accident or something and then they're on life support for, like, years because their family doesn't know how to let them go. But it's like they're a vegetable, dude. It's like they're already gone. You're just, like, holding on to, like, the last remnant of them, which is just kind of pathetic. But, you know, I've never been in that situation, though, so who am I to call it pathetic? But it's like I can empathize with it somewhat, but at the same time, it just seems like people just, they don't know how to accept a lot of things that are just facts of life, you know? But well, I think it's also like they hope that they'll come back. They hope that there'll be something that sparks their memory, or, like, you know, with dementia patients, you see this. But, you know, people that get in accidents, it's like their loved ones just want to believe that at some point, like, they're gonna come back. Yeah. I'm glad that I'm a cynic. I really am. And when I say that, that doesn't mean that I don't have hope. Like, I mean, I wouldn't go to church if I didn't have hope. I wouldn't do this shit if I didn't have hope. I wouldn't make stuff. You know, so I think that the hope is in the creativity. It's what you can provide for the world because God's inside of you. Okay? And if you really believe that, then you'll be able to make the most out of a shitty situation. But yeah, people, if they don't believe in God, they don't believe in themselves. And I just think it's really hard right now for, like, a lot of people to have any kind of like insight, because first of all, they're not living in a world that is cool with insight, you know? They're living in a world that's like really authoritarian, is like trying to convince them to do this or that, and this or that is usually very destructive, okay? But it helps the world. It doesn't help you, but it helps the world. But yeah, I would say it's really hard to have confidence unless like you're really fucking resilient and, you know, you pursue, you know, understanding yourself and like things that you're passionate about. I think people lack passion. And so it's like I'm probably super offensive because like my convictions are really, really strong, and I know that I probably sound very overly confident in the things that I'm saying. Well, I'm a comedian though. Like that's part of it. It's part of the narcissistic side of it. So, yeah. Don't you wish you could have some of that?